Welcome to this online tutorial, and today we'll be learning how to deconstruct Arabic words. So first things first, before we get started, it's very important that we set some goals and objectives because the reality is learning Arabic words and learning how to read it can be very difficult, especially for beginners to the language, because it requires a lot of patience, a lot of time, and a lot of practice, and you need to keep that momentum going. So a common mistake that many people make, many beginners make actually, is that they come across all these Arabic words that they're told to just recite, and they just get caught up with the meaning of these words, and they keep asking themselves, well, what do these words really mean? This is something that you need to focus on much later, because what we're focused on right now is learning how to recite it. So I'm going to highlight a 3-step process that will make it easy for you to read an Arabic word. And the first step is deconstruction. So you're deconstructing a word, and what do I mean by that? Again, there is an example on the next slide. There's an example for each of these steps. So when you're deconstructing a word, you're just breaking it into its letters and its associated vowel symbols so that you can sound each of those letters and vowel symbols, which is pretty much the second step of this process as well. So you're sounding out each of those letters to get a sense of the sound, and then you can sound them everything together with the vowel sounds, which will then lead to your third step, right? So that's your end goal, which is to read that Arabic word in a very successful manner. So the first step is deconstruction, and what I'm going to do is, this is a demo. So I'm just going to get a good pen out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to first break this word into its letters and their associated vowel symbols. Now please bear with me as the writing software I have deletes as I go on to the next slide, so I'll be sure to rewrite everything when I get to the next slide. But let's get to it. So I see this word here, and I'm going to start by breaking it up into letters. So what letters do I see? That's the first question you need to ask yourself. What letters do I see, and what vowel symbols do I see? First of all, we read from right to left, so I see a letter to. Okay, a letter to, it looks something like this, alright? And I see a fatha on top of that, I'm circling that, so I see a fatha. What else do I see? I see a letter jim, right? Remember, because this is not a ba, right? It has this little kind of curve there, which indicates it's a letter jim, alright? In a lowercase kind of form. So it looks something like that, and I also see that the letter jim has a kasra beneath it, so I'm going to put that there as well. And lastly, I have a letter noon, right? There's a letter noon over here, and on top of the letter noon, I also see a dhamma, alright? There's a dhamma there. So I've basically deconstructed this word, okay? So now we're going to get on to the next step, which is sounding, okay? So we're sounding out each of those letters and vowel symbols that we just broke apart. Okay, so let me just rewrite this again, because again, please forgive me on this. Software is not too good. A letter jim, then I have my kasra, and my noon is over here as well. And I have my dhamma. Alright, so now I'm going to start sounding out these letters and vowel symbols. So I have a letter to. I know it makes a T sound, so a strong overall sound. Okay, so to. And then I have a fatha. So what sound does fatha make? Well, it makes the ah sound, right? So I'm going to add an a or aa sound. So it's going to make a to sound, all right? You may think of this as an o, but and it may depend on the person's perspective. So you may think of it as to. I might think of it as ta or taw. Okay, so to. And then letter jim is over here. So letter jim would make a j sound, right? This is a j. And then if I have a kasra, again, a kasra makes an E sound. Okay, so a double E, I'm going to put a double E here. Alright, so it's going to be G. Alright, so G, and then the letter noon. So again, I'm sounding out each of these letters and their vowel symbols. Lastly, the letter noon makes the N sound as in Nancy. And then you have a dhamma, and the dhamma makes an U sound. So putting a letter noon with a dhamma combined overall is nu. Alright, so nu. So let's put this together now. I'm going to rewrite the sounding transliteration up here. So to, ji. So to, ji, nu. Alright? So again, I'm reading letter to in the fatha, which is to, here. Letter Jim in the kasra is G, so up here. And then lastly, I had the letter Noon with the Dhamma is Nu. So I've underlined that over there. Okay, there we go. That's our second step. We sounded out each of the letters in the vowel symbols. And now, all we need to do is just read based on what we did before. So I don't really need my pen right now, but we're just going to read this together now. So maybe I'll just get out just in case. So we have a letter To and the Fatha. It's going to be To, right? Letter Jim and the Kasra is G. And then Noon and the Dhamma is Nu. So all together it's To, Ji, Nu. Alright? Try and see if you can repeat that. I would encourage you to pause the video and practice. To, Ji, Nu. To, Ji, Nu. Alright? So that concludes this tutorial, and I hope this was helpful.